What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Sailor Turn Gamer, and we are back in the building, coming at you with another Dauntless video. Each week, Fitness Labs releases patch notes for changes in the game. A few weeks ago, they started releasing bi-weekly patches, and here we are with the latest update for Dauntless. Patch 0.6.9 kicks off the new season of the Hunt Pass system. This is the season of Overgrowth. Also, we got a brand new behemoth. You can find Boreus on the Maelstrom. We got a brand new loadout screen and a whole list of revamped changes to the hammer. Unlike every patch, this one kills a whole lot of bugs. Stay here and you'll be officially up to date on the latest in Dauntless, ranging from patch notes, news and updates, community Q&A roundups, educational videos, and much more. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and a share, and join the fleet by hitting that sub button. Now, let's get into the patch notes discussion, shall we? Okay, now let's get things started. You can find timestamps in the comment section so you can skip around to the stuff that you like. But we're going to start things off with new to Dauntless. Yes, we're going to be talking about the things that are new to Dauntless to give you guys some exciting information. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the Dead Frost Boreus. Yes, that's the new behemoth that we are talking about. We got a video going over the behemoth. You can check that out in our previous video section. But the Dead Frost Boreus has made its chilling presence known on Maelstrom. But where is this dire lesser counterpart? Theories abound, but only one thing is certain. It needs slaying. Round up your toughest team and your strongest gear. This one doesn't fight alone. Again, guys, if you want to learn more about Boreus, just be sure to check out our previous video that we covered on this guy. He's a very interesting behemoth, and fighting him is actually really fun. He also has some pretty dope gear as well. Be sure to check that video out to learn more about Boreus if that's what you guys want to learn about. Slayers who face Boreus in combat will gain access to his weapons, armor, and new repeater prism. Use them wisely. New Iceborne sales are now officially available. Equip them to earn the Iceborne perk, which grants increased defense when your health is low. Get higher levels of this perk grant lifesteal. So it's pretty awesome. Lifesteal's coming to the game. It's already in, so that's a fantastic perk. Keep your eye on that. You can create some amazing builds with that. I'll be excited to use that lifesteal on one of my builds, and yeah, I can't wait for that as well. The rose-colored days of Saint's Bonds are over, replaced by rain and sudden surge of plant life. Gagario has responded as only he can with the all-new Hunt Pass Overgrowth. Again, guys, we got a video on Overgrowth as well. Just want to cover the new things that are coming in this patch. There's a lot of dope stuff that's here, so I'm excited to continue to cover this stuff. As part of the continuing UI overhaul, a new loadout screen has been added to Dauntless, and it looks amazing. You can learn more all about that on a recent blog post, or it's something that we also covered. Again, guys, a lot of stuff that's coming to the game we've gotten information about over the past few days and weeks, and I have videos covering each one of those topics. So if you're curious about the new loadout screen, the Hunt Pass system, the new behemoth Boreus, be sure to check out our previous videos and learn a little bit more about that. Alright, let's move on. Again, the citizens of Ramgates have decided to retire notes, aka our currency. They're going to replace in that note system with a new coin-based currency called Rams. Slayer's existing notes will be exchanged for Rams at a 1-to-1 rate. So it's a pretty self-explanatory system. However many notes you have, they're just changing it up to Rams. Just a name change. That's all it is. Anyway, I want you guys to please note that there may be places where they are still referred to as notes. Some people are having a hard time adjusting, but once that gets completely adjusted and the transition takes place, Rams are going to be the new form of currency. Keeping in line with our ongoing combat revamp, we've replaced the existing hammer combo finisher, Concussive Ether Blast, with a new and monstrous Ether Slam. Try it out. Some of the Ether Slams are amazing, and jam over to the Dauntless forum to pretty much let those guys know how you feel about the change. They've been revamping the weapon system for some time now. They've already retouched the sword. They've done some slight touches to the hammer, but this is the huge official hammer change. And with that, we are going to talk a little bit about the hammer change. So let's move on to that particular thing, shall we? Okay, moving on to hammer changes. You have your Aether Slam, which is what we're just talking about. Aether Slam. Hammer's Concussive Aether combo finisher basically has been replaced with this ability that we're talking about. To perform your Aether Slam, you want to press your default button. Either it is going to be your mouse button or your Y or whatever your finisher is at the end of any of your hammer strikes, you can perform the Aether Slam. The Aether Slam is a powerful overhead strike that deals damage directly to the target and expends the entire hammer clip to create a wave of explosions that deal additional damage. Striking directly with the Aether Slam will also completely reload your clip into an Aether Charge combo, a new empowered ammo type. Aether sounds may be performed even when the clip is empty, but no explosions will be created. Doing so will confer the benefit of the direct damage reload. Aether charge ammo improves the damage and stagger benefits of all ammo-based attacks, including concussive ether, standing or evasive blast, or primed attacks and Aether slam explosions. So that seems like a pretty cool ability. In the future, we're going to be showcasing those abilities as well with the new hammer revamp. Now let's move on and talk about the concussive ether. So with the concussive ether, the standing version of concussive ether has been reworked. Players may now hold down your default buttons to charge the hammer's concussive ether, loading multiple shells into the clip over time. Releasing the held button will immediately fire all loaded shells, dealing damage and interrupting the behemoth where it is applicable. Loading more shells increases both the damage and range of the attack, and starting this attack will now align the hammer muzzle with the camera facing direction, allowing for quicker turns and interrupting setups. While charging, the player can aim the direction of the blast by adjusting the camera direction. Concussive Aether will fire automatically if all remaining ammo is loaded, and Concussive Aether can be cancelled by rolling, refunding the loaded ammo. Basically, that's a mouthful, but we have new access to attacks that we didn't have prior. If you are a huge Hammer fan, then you're going to love that. I know it sounds like a mouthful. So let's talk about bad ammo. Prior to this patch, players will receive bad ammo when failing an active reload or letting the reload expire. This whole little system has been removed. There's now only good ammo, which is non-Aether charged ammo and Aether charged ammo. So there's no actual penalty for missing your reload. The time penalty for failing an active reload or letting it expire has not changed, but you don't have to worry about actually receiving bad ammo. That's no longer a thing, which is fantastic. And now we're going to quickly move on to the quality of life changes that have embraced the game. There are a ton of them, so sit back and relax for a bit, and we're going to go through the quality of life changes that came through with this patch. So, the Molten Heart buff, which is a pickup, the VFX will no longer appear to fade away before the actual pickup object expires. Inspiring pylon text has been changed to clarify its effect. It increases damage done by slayers, not damage done to slayers. They wanted to clarify that, make sure everyone has a full understanding of how the pylon text works so there's no confusion on that part. When interacting with the middleman, you can now click to select a cell and click again to deselect a cell. This eliminates the need to choose a different cell in order to remove the original. It's a lot easier now. The hammer's model should now more accurately show how much ammo is left in the hammer's clip. They fixed a bug that made it difficult for gamepad users to dye their gear. That's a little bit easier now. I am a gamepad user. I play with a controller, so I like this change. They finished removing the inventory screen. Cell dusting is now accessible exclusively through the middleman. Gear and power levels will now correctly update after upgrading gear. They fixed the bug that prevented Slayers from upgrading a piece of gear twice in a row. Slayers should no longer have to select an unrelated piece of gear before returning to the piece they want to upgrade. They fixed a bug that will cause Slayers with large noses to clip through the Savant's hood. Slayers will no longer be plagued by Zelia's whispers when they spawn into the city of Ramsgate. They fixed a bug that will cause its middleman cell exchange system to enter a weird state if Slayers exited in the middle of a button press. The Ostian repeaters can now be transmog, which is awesome, because what came with this patch, a part of the new season, was the very first transmog for Ostian repeaters. So if you are a repeater fan, there's transmog now. You can now pimp out your repeaters, and as the game progresses through its time, you're going to have access to more and more different types of transmog for the repeaters. So that is an exciting thing in itself. They fixed a bug that would cause gamepads to skip over the loadout button in the main menu. They fixed a bug where equipped items cannot be selected in the Smith's upgrade menu. They fixed an issue where primed hammer attacks were taking the next shell's ammo quality instead of the current one. In cases where your last shell, you gain no bonus to priming. Polish, shock, and blaze VFX changes, making the game look a lot better. They fixed the bug where hammer clips would not display correctly if the hammer was transmogged to one with a different clip. They improved the cell dusting flow, fixing some assorted bugs and improving the overall functionality. In tandem with this, they've reworked the Aether Dust receive screen to be less intrusive after dusting a cell. They increased flare explosion sound effects to make your flare sound look a lot cooler, a lot more pop to it. they added a new pop-up menu, speaking of a pop, to inform slayers that transmogging will consume a transmog stone if they are not transmogging to a cosmetic skin. So that way you don't have to not know when you're using a transmog thing. Now, fix the bug that would prevent razor chroma key bindings from displaying properly. A lot of bug fixes here. They fixed the bug that will cause your transmog situation to fail. And here on these quality of life changes, some of the last few quality of life changes that we're going to talk about is that Nazaga and Ramsguard Scout gear will now be affected by movement physics. It's now a thing. They added the first iteration of rumble to gamepad, so you'll feel the tremor when you get hit or when you hit something. This system is still in development, so it may have some bugs, but the purpose of this is to make the gameplay feel a lot more natural and for there to be a proper transition when the game does release on console. Lastly, Behemoth's elemental resistances, which are really, really awesome. I'm so happy about this change. So whatever the Behemoth is weak or strong against, that now shows up in the airship. So you do have that opportunity to change over. Maybe you didn't change before you left, or maybe you didn't know what the weakness was. Not only does that make it easier to be able to hop into battle more efficiently, but it also sets you up to be able to fully understand the Behemoth a little bit more than you did before that hunt. So I like that change. That might be the biggest quality of life change, in my opinion, that's hit the patch. And this whole patch has been huge and full of amazing content. There's so much stuff that happened today or happened when this patch released for the game, and it's exciting. It's an exciting time to play Dauntless, and the game's only going to get better as the game continues to progress through time. Anyone that's made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you and continue to stay here for all things Dauntless. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a like and a share, and join the fleet by hitting the sub button. Until then, this sailor will be out in the open ocean. Peace.